Hi, everyone. I'm Karen Pittman, and I'm joined by my extremely beautiful co stars, Joyful Drake and Erica Ash.
Hi.
Hello.
We are so excited for all of you to see our new movie, Unthinkably Good Things.
Yes, we are. And today we have a couple of questions that Hallmark Movies and Mysteries sent our way that we will be answering for you.
Great. So let's get started. And I have the first question.
Okay.
So it is, ladies, in the movie Unthinkably Good Things, I play Dr. Allison Cooper, and uh, you guys play her lifelong friends, Melina, and that's Joyful Drake, and Risa, played by Erica Ash. And they haven't seen each other in a few years. So, can you tell everyone what brings our characters to Italy in the first place?
I'll start. I think everyone's kind of going through a quarter life crisis. Yes, I said quarter life crisis. Don't age us out.
Okay.
I think we haven't seen each other in a very long time, and I think it's time.
Yeah, that happens
B,
sometimes in friendships. You don't see each other.
yeah. And then you just kind of call and you're like, wait, you look up and you realize so much life has gone by and so many things have happened and you've got so much to catch up on. It's like that, when you start texting someone and then it's like too many texts, she's like, I've got to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
I feel like that with this trip, like we've probably called and kept in touch. And now it's just gotten to the point where it's just too much for over the phone. We need to come and see about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's Italy. So if our best friend is in Italy, we want to see you, but we also want the food and the wine and all
And
that
the
stuff.
culture and the
Museums and the men. Maybe
Yeah,
some of us.
absolutely.
But and the cool thing is that, when you don't see each other, like you were saying, Erica, real friends, like you get together and you pick up right where you left
I was
off.
going to say that it's like if they pick up right where they left off. It's like they never did not see each other all those months and years that they were apart. It's beautiful the way they sort of come together and the way the writing cast wrote the screenplay. How they sort of all just you see them on the trailer. You have them all sort of jump into each other's arms and they walk into the villa and it's like like
Which
that
is
was
kind of ironically kismet that the three of us kind of did that in real life. We all just each of our introductions didn't feel like introductions. They just felt like, hey girl, so like I was saying. And it's like, I did this
exactly.
for the first time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I love that.
I think that's also just sort of the spirit of this. It's the spirit of this undertaking that we're doing this. We're launching this brand new brand on
Yeah.
Hallmark, and I think there's so much to that. Pardon the pun, but it's intended. Um, it's joyful. It's a joyful thing for us to be doing as women of color and Black women to be launching this brand. It's
Yeah.
incredible. It's
Yeah.
exciting. It's historic,
Yeah.
and there was as much as we worked really, really hard. We also
Mhm.
were really joyful to be doing the thing. So it was very authentic. I felt like.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And kudos to Tony Judkins for bringing that to the forefront for all of us.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
not just the three of us, but just all of us, just women in general. I think I have the next question. All right. Obviously, we're thrilled that Unthinkably Good Things is the first Mahogany movie. The question is, how does it feel to be a part of this experience, Karen and Joyful?
Well, Karen pretty much just answered it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was very joyful. I think the greatest thing about this project was that it felt good. Like, it felt like we were, our director, Terry Vaughn always says that it mattered. Like we were, doing something important. So, to portray one of these characters, this Black woman who goes with her other, beautiful, educated, wonderful Black friends to Italy, I think that it is special because that's what, women I know do, or women I know want to do. And I feel like we gave them the okay to, yeah, take that leap, go do something different, you know.
Yeah.
I also think I felt like a real responsibility to sharing an authentic story and not just embodying representation on screen, but also going further to create a story that reflects the equality of how women of color and Black women live in this world. We travel, we
Mhm.
love wine, we enjoy museums. I mean, we live in a way that should feel familiar to everyone, because underneath it all, although there is distinction between who we are, underneath it all, we really are all the same. And so I
Mhm.
felt the responsibility of expressing that
Mhm.
um, with this first movie on Mahogany Hallmark. But I also felt responsible to be true and authentic to the women that we absolutely do represent and have the great privilege of representing on American
Absolutely.
television.
And
Yeah,
I think it's time. I think our country and the world at large could use a different narrative for
for
Black
sure.
women from what's been portrayed, and sort of highlighting, unfortunately, too many negative aspects that are present in every culture, but for some reason seem to be honed in on when it comes
Mhm.
to Black women and the way that we relate to each other. And I think it's important that we change that narrative to show that this is the majority of the time. This is the majority of our relationships and how we get along with each other and how we relate and how much we love and support each other and just have fun together, and keep and just some positive, far more positive representations of Black women need to be out there worldwide.
I agree. I agree. Our characters have different personalities and perspectives about life, but when they come together, they help each other overcome challenging obstacles. What do we love most about this friendship between these women?
Hmm. I'll say that I love the ultimate honesty of the friendship. It's really hard sometimes to say what needs to be said. And I've seen friendships where friends aren't able to really open up and talk to each other. And it just breeds resentment and frustration and ultimately leads to ending of friendships. I think with our group, it was really important that there were a few times that it was difficult, right? We all came, we had our things that we were holding on to and
Mhm.
secrets, but just like any group of friends, and I always say sister friends, any group of sister friends, you're going to have that person call you out and say, okay, you're not being honest, you need to tell her, or I'm going to tell her, kind of thing. And so I think ultimately what we come to is that we can be honest even in the difficult situations. It may not come out right at first, but ultimately it did. And I think we all just really were vulnerable with each other. And there's a certain level of trust that has to come with that, because I can't be honest with someone that I don't trust with my secrets. So I loved that trust and honesty.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I loved was that we were so playful, that we were
Mhm.
spontaneous with each
Mhm.
other, that there's humor between us, and going back to that thing about how important it is to have a variety of representation of what African American women look like, and how we are. And I think there is a reason why everybody wants a really good, African American girlfriend, because A, we do tell you the truth, but also we keep it light, we keep it fun. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, life is difficult, but we're always that kind of, I think we are the women that are like, yeah, we work very hard, but also we play really, really hard, and we have a good time when we are
Mhm.
doing that. And so I loved that kind of spirit between us. And I thought that Terry did a great job, and Corinne and Monique did a great job of helping us, feel comfortable and confident on camera to try new
Mhm.
things and do different things. And, but all of that is written in the fabric of the story. And Cass did a great job with it too. I mean,
Yeah.
we love our
And
Black friends.
it's really cool that these women, these friends were all going through different challenges in their lives, and they were comfortable enough to be vulnerable and to share what they were going through. And I think when you said everyone needs that Black girlfriend, yeah, we do, because we will tell you the truth, but we will also support you whichever way you want to go.
100%.
Like, I don't think we were trying to sway our, opinion and what we thought, Risa, you should do, or maybe I was just a teeny bit. But at the end of the day, it was about acceptance. And I accept that you're going through this, trial right now. And I have my personal feelings, but ultimately what we all wanted was for each other to be happy. And that's what I really loved about these girls. They wanted happiness for themselves, but happiness for their friends. And they couldn't truly be happy unless their friends were happy.
Yeah, I had an interview where someone was like, well, is there any jealousy between the women on the movie? And I was like, absolutely no jealousy. And,
I think it's interesting that someone asked you that.
Yeah.
I find that for whatever reason, people crave that whenever women get together.
Yeah.
And I want to change that expectation.
Well, I also think that that's part, like, honestly, though, that's like kind of part of how we examine relationships of women on television now. I think that, a lot of reality TV shows show a lot of backbiting and the clap back. And, there's none of that on this movie. We support each other. We love each other. But like Joyful says, we accept each other. Like, this is an honest portrayal of what relationships look like between Black women. It's not always what you see on the reality TV show. It actually is something more real.
Yeah. I think it's hardly ever what you see on.
And they want that.
Don't act like that. So
that's like that cheap conflict. The girl, pitted against girl. It's like that cheap conflict. And this is rich. These are like real life and death. Things that we're going through, which I think will relate to a lot of women and men in the audience.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we don't mind reality TV. We just need a variety, and this is not that. Okay, so I have the next question. Italian culture and delicious foods play a huge role in this movie. There's a huge scene where we go for a truffle hunt, and we sit at the table at Nico's family's house, and he has that cheese farm. He's super cute. But Joyful, your character Melina, is a chef. Super talented, who's looking for her next dish. So here's a question for you, Joyful. Did you learn any new recipes from the movie that you are cooking for you and your family?
Well, truth be told, I'm not the chef. I'm one of those lucky women whose husbands really like to cook, They're out there, ladies.
Everybody can dream. Everybody can dream.
Right.
But I would say what I did learn is how to incorporate, I think, first of all, fresh tomatoes taste better with everything. Okay. And what I loved, one of my favorite breakfasts there was I'd get scrambled eggs, and they'd put arugula and fresh sliced tomatoes, a little olive oil, a pinch of salt and pepper. And it was just like this goodness that just warmed my soul. So when I came home, I call myself cooking eggs, I can do that. And then I did the, arugula and the tomato and the olive oil. And my husband was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. What else did you learn out there? And I'm like, well, but, and I love how they do their portions. Like they have the salad, the pasta, the entree, but they're very small.
So small.
So small. Just a little taste. I learned a recipe that I would like to share.
What?
And it is literally something I had never tasted in my life, but was something so simple. I was like, why didn't I think of that? So, and this wasn't in the script or anything. This was craft services.
They were very good though.
The food and lunches and snacks. Yeah. They came around with these artichoke and salami sandwiches. And I would have never thought to put those things together, but apparently it's an old world Italian sandwich that is very, very popular. So I remember going to craft services and thinking, what should I get? And this Italian man who did not speak English, he's one of the crew, he said, wait, I for you, wait. And I said, okay. And he said something to the chef in Italian, and he handed me, it was salami with like the kind of pickled artichokes on it that you can get from any Whole Foods or whatever, any grocery store, and drizzle of olive oil. I tasted that thing and I had to have one every single day.
Did you do that? Did you do that every time you had to do?
Every time. This you want to slap something. It's so good. And
that's a real black woman move right there.
Buying them at home. So I have in my cabinet right now a jar of the pickled artichokes, and in my refrigerator some sliced salami. And I literally have one almost every day.
That's a black lady move right there. That's when you give yourself a high five.
Right. Like I did that artichoke sandwich.
I did. You
know what I did? I found this back, and one of the things that I did as soon as I came back is I got this. Can you see that right there?
Yeah. What is it?
An espresso maker? Wait, it is, right?
Oh, you got an espresso maker?
I got a cappuccino maker.
Mm-hmm. You were Miss Cappuccino on set.
Every day, guys. And when I came back, I was like, I gotta have it every day. Every day.
Like Gianluca. I need my cappuccino. I need my afternoon cappuccino.
Yeah. That is amazing.
I
Love it. Okay, so I think I have the next question. Allison's career centers around creative writing, and she finds inspiration during her time in Italy, as we all know. So Karen, where do you find your inspiration when you're trying to create a new project?
Oh, that's out in nature for me. That's hiking. That's, I go to the Botanic Garden in Brooklyn a lot. I mean, I just think being out in a natural setting is so replenishing. They call it forest bathing. Going to the beach here in LA, or, that is where I find the greatest source of inspiration. My relationships, my friends, also work, being at work, working begets a frame of mind where you want to be more creative, to me. What about you, Joyful? Where do you get creative?
Meditation and stillness. I just spent a month in my hometown, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in my mom's house, on my favorite couch with my pink blanket, while she was watching my daughter.
This life you have. Is this where did you get this life?
I know. Our husband works. Take care of the
mother takes care of your baby.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord for Mama. Praise the Lord for Mama Linda.
Listen, Joyful for real.
So it's like in the simple things, my family's very simple. We sit on the porch, as the sun goes down, we sit around and we watch TV, or, my mom will cook or I will cook, but just being around loved ones and being still, like not working, just being present, and I guess observing like real life and real people and real relationships. It always inspires me to think of new characters when I act or when I write or things like that. So for me, it's always going home.
I think for me, it's a combination of those two things, but I would include travel, because there's something about traveling around the world and seeing brand new, the air smells different to me. When I travel, when I get off of a plane and I go to a new country, I know I'm in a new country because the air smells different and it tastes different and the water tastes different. And there's something about that feeds my soul. But even in that, people watching in another country and looking at groups of friends, say if I go out to a restaurant I'm trying new cuisine and everything is so different. But when I look up and I see a table full of girlfriends talking, you can almost pick out, okay, so that's, that's Erica and that's Kristen and that's, Lynette. And that's, you can pick out your different girlfriends. And so you realize that as vast as the world is and as much as it can feed you because of all of its differences, there are just so many similarities that lock us all in. And so for me, my creativity comes from that, because I can, it's like you can tell the same story 11 different ways, and we've heard them before, but it's about how you see it. And to me, that really is the ultimate feed for my creativity. So I can go to Italy or, and if I'm working in another country, then I've got, it's a perfect storm.
Yeah.
I can meditate mornings, and I can be out in nature, in new nature, and
it looks brand new. World looks brand new.
Right. And then you miss where you came from. Like, you can't wait to get away, and then you're ready to come back home.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the sweet spot.
Yeah.
I believe I have the next question. So, ladies, when our characters reunite after 3 years, that's a long time. Risa, Erica, is exploring her next career move and shares that she is hoping to start a family soon with her husband. Now, I want to ask you, Erica, what advice would you give your character, Risa, as she is conflicted on her next steps of life?
The advice that I would give Risa is the advice I have to keep reminding myself of, is stop trying to control and just let it be. Just let it be. Because the only thing that you're trying to control everyone does is cause you anxiety. Because what's going to, you can do your best. And then there's a song, after you've done all you can, you just stand. And I'm sure 99.9% of our viewers will know exactly what song I'm talking about. But it's true. You cannot spend your time. It causes a host of other problems that you didn't have to deal with before. Like, it is actually linked to medical issues, worrying and stressing and being anxious over things that you may or may not be able to change. Starting a family, certainly there are things that we can do, but there's an element to that that's beyond our control. And if it's meant to be, it just will. And so I would just tell Risa to calm down. I would probably get her to the meditation point, or get her to the travel point or to the nature point or something, and just say, girl, stop.
Yeah, I think there is something about us as Black women where we definitely feel like, I think because we are so strong, that we can make things happen, and this weird sort of manifesting energy. It's true. There's just something sort of special about how we can sort of put things together. My mother called it making a way out of no way. You know what I mean? Necessity being the mother of invention, not the father of invention. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would agree. I think there is some element to that letting go that feels like, there is actually more joy and more happiness in just letting things go in life, instead of like trying desperately to keep it all under your grip.
Yeah. And I agree with everything that all of you said. As a woman who got married in 2016, 6 years. Woo,
yeah.
And then everyone's first is, when are you getting engaged? When are you getting married? When do you have a baby? Like, we can put pressure on other women, and you don't really know their stories.
Right.
You don't know if they want kids. You don't know if they can have kids.
Right.
And I think that as Black women, like you said, Karen, a lot of pressure is on us, but we also put a lot of pressure on ourselves.
For sure.
And living in this, social media world where, you can go out and you can buy body parts and anything you want, right here and right now, I feel like people don't understand that you know, anything worth having sometimes takes a while to get it. So we can be impatient, and then we can be hard on ourselves as women, because we put all these expectations on ourselves, and we feel like we have to achieve certain goals by a certain age. And if we don't, then what does that say about us?
Right.
It just says that this is our journey. This is your journey. And like you said, Erica, whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. So you might as well enjoy it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I think there is something about that where Erica, and I think certainly not Erica, but Risa, and certainly Melina and Allison are at this point for sure. I feel like, is it more important to look the part or be the part? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think for all of these women, they're in a certain space in their lives where they're like, okay, I've gotten everything that I said I wanted, and it looks like, you know, I am fully inhabiting a self-realized life. But the truth of the matter is that I don't feel that way. It may look like that, but it doesn't feel like that. And how do I get those two things to align? And I think that's a really interesting place to start a story with these incredibly accomplished women. And you know, it's I just think it's as you explore who you are, this story tends to unfold in really interesting ways, right?
Yeah. And they find that, you know, the happiness, and it's been told it 1,000 times, it's not on the outside. It's not by acquiring things or titles or, you know, possessions. You can have all the money in the world and you can still be miserable on the inside. But until you really find your joy, your passion, and you love yourself for who you are and where you are, then you'll be able to, you know, make changes, you know, on the outward things that you see.
Yeah, I'm so excited for people to see this movie.
Oh my God, I was just thinking that.
I feel like everybody, just like I did when I read the script, everybody is going to see some aspect. If even if they don't align with every aspect of my character, they can. It's almost, you know, like there's a little bit of Joyful's character that resonates in my actual real life. There's a little bit of your character, Karen, that actually resonates in my real life, and a little bit of my character that resonates in my real life. And I'm just so excited that we have these very defined, you know, fully developed women, and big kudos to Cass for, you know, creating such depth in these women. But people will be able to identify with so many aspects of one or a combination of all of our lives and what we're going through and how we're dealing with it. And I love being able to show that to us. It's exactly how I felt when I saw the first Mahogany card. You know, when I read it, and I was like, this is my experience. This is me. This is how my mom speaks to me. This is how my dad speaks to me. This is how I interact with my sister, you know? And so having these layers of these women and having, you know, them look like Black women, like other Black women out there in the world, and them seeing themselves and seeing aspects of their lives, I think it's going to be so enriching, and it's going to be so therapeutic to a lot of women to be able to see that and see how we interact.
Yeah, I think positive therapy, a positive way of looking at yourself. I think I also was reflecting on what you were saying, Joyful, and I think that what an interesting experience the three of us had individually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like our own personal journeys, and how that reflected in the work that we did made each of our characters so authentic and so unique, because in our own personal journey sort of reflected their story and how their journey was reflected in the story, right?
Yeah. Like I immediately saw myself in Melina. Aspects of her that I had went through, you know, same story, right? Different situation. So I was immediately drawn to her trials, her ups and her downs. And, you know, all I could say is that just like our characters in the movie needed each other, I feel like Karen, Erica, and Joyful, it had to be us.
Absolutely.
It had, like, you know, being
Absolutely.
in another country, long hours.
Yeah.
Like we put a lot into this.
Yeah.
But I know Erica carried me when I was tired. Erica, you remember that scene? And we were like, the crew was like, yo, we supposed to go home. And they were like, we lost the light. I'm not gonna ruin it. But me and Erica kind of had to improv the entire scene. And we looked at each other and we said, we got this. And it had to be Erica.
Yeah.
And Karen, how you just came and you just brought everything, like the glue. It had to be you, you know. It had to be us.
And also I want to shout out to did have to be. I want to shout out to the guys who also brought their A game. They really did. Lance and Jermaine and Luca. They really did bring a lot. I have a question for you guys though. So our characters have a strong friendship, support one another through sickness and health, and encourage each other to embrace new opportunities. And what I want to know about you is, how do your girlfriends help you in your own lives?
Oh, I mean, from gathering around me, praying over me, listening to me, just being a sounding board for anything that I'm going through. And I have amazing girlfriends. Amazing.
But are they amazing? Or
they're amazing.
Yeah. Gotta get that lilt in there. We have so much fun. We will go to brunch. My dad knows. My dad and I, we talk every Sunday. And he knows, he talks to me on the way to brunch. When I get to brunch, we're done. Because the rest of the day,
it'll be 5-6 hour brunch hard.
Seriously. Because we go through everybody's stuff. And nobody gets tired because, you know, we all are really invested in one another. And it's just, I mean, they're really more like my sisters.
Yeah.
Than my friend. You know, their family is real to me.
Family.
And they're the people that I choose to hold me down. I'm, you know, in Los Angeles, I don't have any family. You know, I have family in extended parts of California, but where I live, I don't have family. So my girlfriends are it. And so I really do lean on them, and I allow them to lean on me.
Yeah. You know, I'm very blessed that I have a rich life. And when I say a rich life, I mean so much love from so many amazing, powerful, dynamic women. I'm one of 4 girls, so I have 3 sisters. So my sisters are my best friends in the entire world. My mom was one of 9 sisters. And they're just the pillars and the backbones of our family. I have 2 nieces. I have best friends who are my daughter's godmother and whatnot, but in sorors, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So I just am around, you know, the president of Hallmark, Wanya. She's an AKA too. You know that. Yeah. So just shameless plug. But like, my sisters are my rock. We have a chat, a group chat. We call ourselves the unit, and we pick each other up when we're down. We tell each other what to wear. We just support each other, and it's unconditional. And we're also very different, and we're all in different parts of the country, and we see each other twice a year, in the summer and at Christmas. But I am who I am because of them. And I know that they are who they are because of me. It's like we're so connected that my husband's like, dude, can you get off the phone with him? Like, can you stop?
Yeah.
Hello, it's me. I'm here. And I'm like, stop. This is, you know, because it's so many of us. Yeah. But I think that they give you that yes. Like, should I wear this? Is it too short? No, girl, you look sexy. Wear it. You know, they give you permission when you give yourself that permission. So I know that they gave me permission to fly. Like, I didn't know if I'd be able to go to Italy and like leave my daughter, who was 2. And they were like, God's got you. And I'm like, but, you know, I hadn't been away from her, and they were going to come 2 weeks later. But that was a big deal. And they were the ones who said, you can do it. And had they not said that, you know, y'all might be sitting with some other Melina over here.
And then it would not have been the same, I tell you.
Don't even say it. Don't even say it.
How about you, Karen?
I have to say, you know, you were talking about children and you can do it and that kind of thing. With it, immediately, I a reminder that I'm a single mother in my real life. And, when you're a single mother, you really do need aunties and big sisters and, all those people who come to support your children while you're doing the thing that you've got to go out and do. You have to work. But I'll also, my mother would say it takes a mother to raise a child, but it takes a woman to raise a mother, meaning that you have to have, in raising children, you lift yourself up, and you need support in raising yourself even higher. And all of my girlfriends help me with that. I have a friend who says to me, if I got it, you got it. And she means it,
I love what your mom said. Like, can we get that on a t-shirt?
Smart.
Yeah, I love that.
She's dropping a little gem. She sounds like my mama. Just like,
right.
My mama who did come to Italy.
Yes, she did.
Because she's one of my friends too. She's like, oh,
right. Mama best friend.
Mama queen bee. Mama your friend for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I have a question for you, ladies.
Okay.
Allison, Risa, and Melina embark on fun adventures while staying in Italy, as we definitely did. From exploring an art museum to shopping at fancy boutiques. If we could roam through Italy for a day, what would be the top 3 activities on our bucket list?
Well, I'd have to be in the Amalfi Coast, looking at the sea, taking the ferry over to Capri, maybe going to Positano and shopping for, linen. I'd have to be over there because something about the water over there is different, and something about the water over there is just calming, and it is romantic, it's angelic, and it's just super peaceful. So if I got to do one thing, that's where I would roam. I would get lost. Turn my cell phone off. Don't call me. I'll get back with you later.
Yeah.
I would definitely go to Positano or Corsica, one of the islands around Italy, to enjoy that, like what she's saying, enjoy the sea. There's something about the Mediterranean Sea. I mean, there's something about eating al fresco. There's something about just being, even when we were in Viterbo and we were eating outside in that little cafe, it is so incredibly Italian and transformative. They call it the joy of doing nothing, and the sweetness of doing nothing. And there's something about that, no agenda, no real list of things to do. You're just chilling out and hanging and enjoying the sun and the sea. So I would say definitely being on the Amalfi Coast. And
would you meet me for lunch?
I would.
Which leads to my bucket list item. I would go on a full food tour, but it would be a food tour of really cool restaurants.
Yes.
That sit on big rocky cliffs overlooking water, and every restaurant would have to have, like, I'm talking like Michelin, starred food, but also like some really amazing, wow factor about the restaurant, whether it's the interior design or the view or just something really phenomenal. So I would want to go on a food tour of the top restaurants in Italy.
It's so funny, Erica, because when I think of Italy, right, and some of the best food that I've had, I've just gotten lost in the city, and I've looked at the menu and I saw what people were eating, and it wasn't, top rated, but it was like mama in the kitchen. Back there, like who had that burger, Karen.
I'm not. Who came out and says, kiss me on the cheek. If you like the food, kiss me on the cheek. I said, come here, honey.
Yes.
Come over here with that cheese.
Okay. Yes. Like, I don't think we had a bad meal while we were there for a month.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Like everything was like great.
Even the snacks.
Even snacks.
Yeah. Like that artichoke and salami.
Yeah, right. That I know.
You gotta stop. You look like you're gonna go in the kitchen and make one.
I am 2 seconds. So we're gonna have to up so that I can get my snack. No.
Okay, so I believe I have the last question.
Okay.
Yes, ladies, I know. Number 9, the last question. Now, there are many stunning views of Italy. As Allison Karen shares some of her favorite places with Melina and Risa. Now, without giving away, any spoilers or ruining it for the audience, yeah, sorry. What is each of your favorite scenes from the movie? Hmm?
Ooh.
Location wise, like what did you film or where did you film when you were like, "Oh, this is
I gotta be honest. It
Mhm.
for me, hands down, was Allison's house.
It was beautiful.
There was so much about the property that house sat on. So many gems. There was an actual city underneath the property that the property was built on top of that you could access through a secret door of the house.
Really?
I didn't know that.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Did you go to it?
We were trying to get a tour of it. The owner wouldn't allow us down, but there was apparently a vault that you could go through the door. And they were talking about how there's like full remnants of like the old city underneath. And apparently a lot of places in Italy had that same effect. There were, just cities sort of just built on top of cities, which is
Wow.
yeah.
Fascinating.
So that property just had so much rich energy. I mean, the lawns were so beautifully manicured and those huge rocks and metal sculptures that were outside on it. I mean, for me, that was it.
Yeah, that's a real
gorgeous.
thing. It was the drive up that you see at the beginning of the movie when Melina and Risa come and they're passing all of those beautiful trees and the landscape and the music is playing. That's actually on their way up to the actual villa. It was amazing. And I felt like traveling around Italy, Rome, outside of Rome. We saw so much beauty and so much green. And I think probably my favorite spot was the farm, Nico's farm, where the sheep were.
Yeah.
And we had the truffle hunt. I mean, that probably was my favorite place just because it was so pastoral. It looked so much like what the countryside in Italy looks like. It was just really, and it represented to me sort of how down to earth that experience is culturally. I mean, it's just very, at the end of the day, being in the Italian countryside and being in Italy is getting back to self. It's getting back down to earth, which I really thought was reflected in the landscape.
Yeah, I have like two spots. I really loved the vineyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just really romantic, and I'm a wine connoisseur. I love going to Solvang and everywhere and Santa Barbara. It was just beautiful. It was peaceful, but I really liked, and maybe you can help me because I can't remember what it was called, but we were hiking there. And it was like this old town. And Erica, when we walked inside the ruins, there was this massive tree that we were like, oh my gosh, it keeps going and going.
Church.
Was it the church? It was like the tree where
it was an old church. It's like
an old church.
Yeah.
What was it called? Do you know?
I can't remember the name of it, but it's an important part of the story.
Yeah, it's an important part of the story. And I believe they said it used to be an old town. And it was the first day that we shot. And I just looked out and I have pictures of us that are so awesome. And we were just looking at the sun and the greenery and the ruins. And I felt like, I'm in Italy.
It was really
somewhere else, So something that as a tourist, you would not see because we were about an hour and a half outside of Rome.
Right. Yeah, we really were lucky.
It was really special. So special.
It was amazing. I agree with you on that place because you could tell it wasn't just like, 100 years old. It was centuries.
Yes.
And what was it like for the people who were in that space when it actually wasn't as dilapidated as it was when, or the ruins weren't there. Do you know, when it was actually
Right.
alive and thriving? Like, who were those people and what was it
I
like?
wonder. I bet you someone there. His name was Uhtred. Karen, you don't know that joke. Inside joke. And you're not. Yeah, we'll tell you later.
And on that note,
What? Yeah.
it is time to wrap up. So, we have a rapid fire game inspired by Unthinkably Good Things, guys. It's called This or That.
Okay.
So, I'm going to ask you guys this or that. Shop for new clothes or buy cookbooks?
Clothes.
Shop for new clothes. Yeah.
So
You have to answer too, Karen.
Yeah.
Shop for new clothes. What?
He's like, have you seen the fits that I'm wearing?
Right. You know me.
Yeah.
You know me.
Okay. Sample local cheese or go, well, I know what Joyce was about to say, or go wine tasting.
Wine tasting. I'm lactose intolerant, so the way that my stomach is set up, it wouldn't work out for anybody.
But we were good in Italy with the cheese.
It was different.
No problem.
Yeah. It was definitely
different.
much easier to digest there.
Yeah.
I think they put less things in it. What about you, Karen?
Wine.
Okay.
Go on a morning hike or meditate in an open field.
Oh, like, what kind of hike are we talking about? Is it like strenuous, or is it like just,
Hike.
Oh, like a workout hike? Like I'm gonna be sweating?
Like the hike that we do in the movie, the hike.
Meditate.
I'd meditate. Right? I'd meditate.
I like a hike.
Okay.
I like to sweat a little bit. I like to get it out, then open up a bottle of wine when you're at the top, and a picnic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you take a cooking class or indulge at a fancy Italian restaurant? Joyful.
I would take a cooking class.
In
So I can learn some things, Karen. Hello.
Indulging. Party of one.
I would indulge in a fancy.
Erica, then they'd probably kick me out, and I'd have to come meet you guys.
They would kick Joyful out.
I'd be like, you gotta go, get out.
But I'm not picky.
Right.
I use
You gotta go.
this, but I'm not picky. Just
No,
this,
not me.
and
I
then-
just know what I like, and I like what I know. That's not picky.
The pickiest. Okay, walk through a field of sunflowers or stroll through an art museum.
Sunflower.
Art museum.
Yeah, me too.
Which one?
Okay, it's an art museum.
Yeah,
Oh,
art museum.
sunflowers.
Oh,
Sweet.
Sunflowers are Jesus's art, so it's kind of the same thing but different.
the last
Yeah,
one
no.
is. This is the last one: truffle hunting or spend the day at a farm.
Oh, spend the day at a farm. I want to milk a cow. That's on my bucket list. Or a goat. Or
I don't know.
I want to milk an animal.
I'd go back to the winery.
I don't think that's a fair question.
No, you have to choose one.
Watch Unthinkably Good Things or
Nothing. Watch Unthinkably Good Things.
Watch Unthinkably Good Things.
There's one choice there.
Do it, Erica. Do it, Erica. There you go.
We want to thank you guys for joining us, and we can't wait for you to watch our new movie. It's called
Yes, and since this movie is the first Mahogany premiere, you
First
can
one.
tune in Sunday, August 28th at 9/8 Central on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, Hallmark Channel, and Hallmark Drama.
Wow. So it's just everywhere, basically. It's just everywhere. And tweet along while you guys watch it, okay? Using the hashtag Unthinkably Good Things. And also, can they, follow us like on Instagram and all that? You want to give your thing?
Yes.
I'm Joyful Drake on Instagram.
And I'm at the Erica Ash, TheEricaash.
And I'm at the Karen Pittman on all of the social media platforms.
All of them for me too. Yeah.
And again, you can tweet along with us, hashtag Unthinkably Good Things, as Joyful said. We're going to ask you to keep tuning in for more Mahogany movies on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. Thank you guys for joining us. What a joy to do this movie. I love you guys.
I miss you guys. I'm missing you, all of you.
I miss you too, Joyful and Karen. You make my world.
You guys, yeah. We're gonna have to do this again. We'll do another live again, and we'll do another movie again. And this is
we'll do another movie.
Dun, dun, dun. Vanya Lucas and Tony Judkins for making
yes
possible.
Sure.
Yes, director and cast, our wonderful writer, Monique and Corinne, and just everyone who jumped in
and our amazing Italian crew. We had a full Italian crew, and they were amazing. Once you see these shots, and it looks good.
And a shout out to all the incredible Italian actors who were a part of our experience there too. And again, to the guys, Jermaine and Lance and Luca. Can't wait to see you guys on screen on August 28th, 8 Central. Unthinkably Good Things. Watch us on Hallmark this upcoming weekend. Is it this weekend?
It is.
I know.
Can't believe it. You guys are going to love it.
You're going to love it.
You're going to love it. We loved it. You're going to love it. I promise.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Hey guys.
Bye for now. Bye for now.
Bye.